Hi everyone, it's Carson. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing our first long practice. One of my friends, Jean-Augustin, asked on Facebook if I could post more long practice videos, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So, without further ado, we're going to practice. First, I do want to talk about my goals with guitar. I want to be able to play any song I want and not have any difficulty learning it or playing any of the chords or anything like that. So, with that in mind, these are the things I practice on a daily basis to try and get better. First, I stretch my hands. My guitar teacher, Bill, he's really into the importance of stretching to prevent long-term injury. So first, we're going to stretch each finger for about 5 to 10 seconds. I'm going to stretch the middle finger off camera for my audience's sake. Again, this is just to get nice and loose for when we're actually playing. Next, stretch the wrists. Sometimes I do this before I have the guitar in my hand, which is usually better because I'm not worried about holding up the guitar, but oh well. Okay, and then he hasn't told me to do this, but something I personally like to do is to rotate my wrists in a circle. You can hear my bones cracking, which means I need it. More so in the left hand. I've noticed over time that just that hand cracks for some reason. All right, cool. Now stretching's out of the way, we're gonna warm up. I don't use the metronome when I warm up. It's just I want to focus on getting loose and being relaxed when I play. So the first thing we're going to do is a spider walk. A spider walk helps build dexterity in the hands, and it's, again, just a nice thing to get loose and in the flow when I'm playing. The spider walk exercise, you start on one note, you play the next note on the guitar, or I guess half tone if you want to be really technical, with each finger, so your index, your middle, ring, and pinky, and then you just keep going down the guitar. So it's like this. And when you're warming up, you really want to focus on control. I'm going to do speed stuff later, but for right now, you just want to make sure you're being accurate and hitting the note in the right place so that everything sounds really good. A little bit faster. Cool. Some other fun little things I can do. There's this one called the tritone exercise, where you're basically alternating where you're playing. So you'll play the first note here, the next note's here. The story about this is that my teacher said in the old days, like in the 1500s, this sound was considered church music. But not as much anymore now that music's kind of evolved and rock and jazz have kind of come into the forefront of American music. The point of that exercise is the same, you're just loosening up. I'm going to play up higher on the neck too because I want to get used to that. Okay, cool. Now that I'm warmed up, we're going to practice the main thing that I'm working on right now, which is bar chords. Bar chords are my arch rival. I'm not good at them, which is why I practice them. Bar chords are where you're using your finger to bar several notes at once on the guitar. For example, this right here is a D minor bar chord. Normally, if you're playing piano or a different instrument, chords have 3 notes, but since the guitar, you're using the finger to bar the chords, it allows you to play certain notes easier and certain chords on the guitar more easily than having to contort your fingers in a bunch of weird ways. But they take some hand strength to play. So what I'm doing to start is that I'm just gonna alternate between 2 bar chords. I'm gonna do maybe D and E to be easy. And I'll play with the metronome. If you can see here on my phone, I have this metronome app. I also have a physical metronome, but it's low on battery at the moment, so we're using my phone. I'm playing about 40 beats per minute. I know that's really slow, but I want practice and control, so this is what we're doing. Something to talk about while I'm resting my hand again. So something I'll do to keep tempo is tap my foot. My teacher encourages me to do that just to keep an internal sense of time in addition to having the metronome. Also, again, I have been playing with up and down strokes just to, again, build speed, and hopefully I'll be able to do that faster. With different chords, I'll play, up, down, faster. I'm gonna try a different shape this time. This is a major 7th shape, where you have a major chord, and then you add the 7th note in the scale. Okay. And again, while we rest my hands, just gonna relax a little bit. Okay. That's going to be it for that exercise. My hand's wearing down a little bit, so I just need to change to something else. One thing I forgot to mention is that my guitar teacher is wanting me to focus on keeping my wrists closer in. What I've been doing is that I've been kind of bending my wrist a lot to get power in the chord in order to play it, which it works for playing the chord. It's not great long term because I'm bending my wrist a lot. And that can cause pain and poor technique. So I was thinking about that and then forgetting to talk about it. So I'm telling you guys now. The next thing we're gonna do is work on some speed stuff, just to give my hands a little bit of a rest, but also change things up for you guys in the audience. What I do when I'm working on speed, I do that same spider walk exercise we did earlier to warm up, but with a metronome. So what I like to do, I'll set it at about somewhere in the range of like 60 to 70 beats per minute per whole note. And I will play the spider walk. That translates to about 280 beats per minute or like 260 beats per minute per quarter note, to give you an idea of how fast that is. The metronome is going to sound slow, but the notes I'm playing will be faster, if that makes sense. Also, I don't know if it said this on the screen, but I have it on 65 right now. Okay. Since I was able to play that and talk to the camera at the same time, it probably means it's not challenging enough. So I'm gonna up the tempo a little bit. because I'm playing it way too slow. That's why. Ah. Okay, I was playing way too slowly earlier. So, for my brain, we're gonna switch to about 250 beats per minute and play on the quarter note, because clearly I got confused. As with before, when I was warming up, I'm trying to focus on quality. Something that I've had happen in other practices is like I'll miss notes or things like that. Like I'll just be off on the string a little bit, or like my finger won't pull off all the way, so the note will sound weird. So again, just trying to make everything clean and consistent. But I think that's enough for that exercise. The next thing we're gonna do is back to chord related stuff. We are gonna do a new exercise. My teacher showed me this one because a few months ago, I believe, I was having trouble making the slide between certain chords. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this major seventh shape, this little triangle shape in my hand here, and I'm just alternating. So I'm gonna go 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to play this chord. This is a B minor, basically, or sorry, D minor. B minor's up here. The reason why we play that chord is because he's also had me do this chord sequence where I'll play a C major 7, and this was when I was learning like the major and minor 7 chords. D, E, this is F. But anyways, since I'm not able to do that super quickly, we're just gonna do this little exercise here to, again, help build strength and build my transitions. I'm going to do this with the metronome. I just wanted to show you guys the exercise first. So we're gonna do it nice and slowly, because we're like the tortoise from the tortoise in the hare. Slow and steady wins the race. Something you guys will probably notice as I practice, the D minor chord itself, I'm having trouble playing all the notes on. But again, that's why we practice. sounds flat like that, I'm missing a note. You can hear that the D string is completely flat, which again, long-term goals, we're gonna get rid of that. And I can feel my hands weakening up a little bit, so I'm gonna drop down to 40 beats per minute so I can keep going, but it's a little easier. If you're into working out, think of it like a drop set. I'm doing a drop set. See how that sounds nice and cleaner than those flats I was missing a couple of seconds ago. I'm gonna do a couple more, then stop. Also, I'm off tempo, so we're gonna just reset. Okay, that's that exercise. Normally, what I do to finish up is that I will play songs on Chordify because that is fun. But since I'm not exactly sure of YouTube's copyright rules, we're not gonna do that. What I think I'd like to do instead, just again, for a little fun thing at the end of the practice, is practice soloing. Soloing's just the guitar word for jamming out on, I guess, an A major scale, and just, you know, kind of show how things come together. I guess to be proper, I will put on a metronome. We're just gonna do this for a couple minutes just to have some fun. Okay, that's it for today. I switched at the end to a B minor pentatonic scale because that scale is related to A major. If you want more detailed music theory videos, let me know in the comments, but for now, just know they're related. And yeah, that's my practice. Again, the point of this is to show that I'm learning. I'm not the world's greatest guitar player right now anyway, but I want to get better, and this is how I'm going to do it. So if you guys like this, leave a like or subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.